It is about to be another rip-roaring good time.
Heck yeah.
So, since you guys completed a long rest and a watch, if you prepare spells, you can change those up. Just a benevolent reminder if you choose to. Let's see.
Pretty sure, yeah, I did that at the end of the last session.
Alright, get a load of this. Last time on D&D, the squad escaped from a melee with Bufaga and a grotesque bulbous creature called an Odiug. Making an exit from the house, Makayla valiantly ordered the rabbits blockading the door to let the party pass. Making it out into the sun and not being chased, you regrouped at the temple to Selene, where Chuman was able to rest and treated for his wounds. There was a discussion on what to do next. That discussion was had, and then now the caravan is now making its way east towards Ituusk, the next step of your journey to Olga. Let's all roll a d20, and we'll go in that order. Give me a travel montage of what you're up to over these 4 days. Highest to lowest, highest wins. Alright, I need a...
You need a tiebreaker roll?
No, I need a,
You need a strength check.
Give me a strength check. No, Zoaz, flip a coin. Makayla, called it.
Oh.
2. Or is it 0 and 1? I forget how it works on this.
It's heads and tails.
Tails.
That is heads. So,
Okay.
Zoaz, you will go before Makayla.
You got it.
So, let's see here. Take it away, Pastiche.
Alright. Well, Pastiche is pretty self-contained on this trip. Just very sloppily attempting to sketch out landscapes of the areas they pass. Nothing too special, nothing too detailed considering they're bouncing up and down on a raptor, but just anything they might be able to use for inspiration later.
Camera does like a blur, like a blur pan to Chuman.
Let's see. Chuman is, for the most part, he's kind of thinking to himself, thinking about the fight with the Griffin, how he's apparently lost memory or even recollection of what happened during that fight. Hoping to, get something to kind of jog his memory on it, but kind of still struggles between it each night. For the most part, he's in and out, kind of thinking about his own goal, the Griffin fight, and then kind of paying attention to surroundings in case anything shows up. So he's kind of, in a way, almost like he's on edge between daydreaming and being on edge. That's kind of Chuman's time frame.
Okay. Bouncing on the raptor is Zoaz.
Zoaz, when he's not busy, making sure everyone's, on the right path, avoiding places he knows are dangerous or are prone to accidents. Zoaz tends to be, setting up camps at night. He generally takes the first watch, during which time he prays to Selene, perhaps examines the locket he received from the bird statue in the caves underneath. Baskar, I believe, was the name of the city.
Mm-hmm.
He points out the Laughing Gorge, which is an area near to Ituusk. A valley that was opened up by an earthquake several years ago with echoing noises, mysterious echoing noises that bounce off the walls and seem to come out of the inky depths. But he does not actually take us by there. He just points out the direction it's in case people are curious whenever we have finished our escort. And he thinks about taking Xalia to... Oh, why can I never remember the name? Why can I never remember the name? I need to be better about taking notes. The town that Xalia was looking to go to, that I can't remember the name of, but I'm sure Xalia could tell us eventually.
Zoaz is like, I gotta take her to that town.
Scratching his chin.
Tretosk.
No, Tretosk is where we're heading. I think it started with an S.
Samasa.
Samasa, thank you.
Okay, I may have updated my notes.
Samasa. But aside from, keeping everyone out of harm's way, Zoaz is mostly chilling. This is pretty standard fare for him. As a Moonlight Shepherd.
Oh. What was the name of the gorge?
The Laughing Gorge. It is about a day's travel east from Tretosk.
I guess that means I'm next, right?
See?
Yeah, Makayla would be generally kind of solemn and not, kind of glum on the most of the adventure. I think she'd be the type of person to kind of just throw herself into busy work, like manual labor, just to be doing things when not running the raptors. So just I guess taking care of the raptors when they're breaking. I guess feeding, brushing ? I don't know how you.
I mean, they need cleaning.
Yeah, cleaning and generally caring for them,
Taking care of them.
making sure they're okay, just sort of anything just to keep her busy. That kind of vibe. Other than that, nothing particularly specific.
Which brings us to Twig.
Twig is riding along on Zoaz's raptor. He occasionally points to the landmarks and asks Zoaz about them. One night at camp, Twig approaches Zoaz and says, "Zoaz, what do you know about this package that we're transporting? Is it something important, or?"
Zoaz would shrug a bit and say, truth be told, I do not know that much. I am aware that it is of some import, but, and that it is jewelry, which, of course, Tenyuto would normally, as the standard fare would be to have it go through customs, but, unfortunately the pirate attack prevented that from happening.
That makes sense.
To be frank, I do not always check with my employers about what they're delivering. Some privacy is usually appreciated by most. And then he clears his throat and says, but I did not mean to say that you were in the wrong for asking.
Oh no, of course. Also, there is one more thing I forgot to mention. It's very important. Could I have my horn back, please?
Oh, so as Zoaz startles and then says, of course, yes, indeed.
Thank you, friend. Confirm. Twig spends most of his time at camp just writing in his notebook, and helping out with the daily tasks.
Which brings us to Xalia.
Did you all think I was joking?
Joking about?
Let me just curl up a little bit.
Am I missing something? Oh.
There we go.
Oh no. Well,
Tell me what happens.
First day on the new job.
We'll read it out for the class, Xalia.
Xalia major illusion the pit directly under the party because she gets bored.
Not even silent, dang.
Well,
Suddenly, as you all are navigating east towards Alga, east towards adventure, east towards the destination of your delivery, as if you are caught in the middle of an earthquake, with no warning, no even hint of this occurring. Suddenly, Zoaz, Chuman, Pastiche, Makayla, and Twig, and Korakon, but I'm not talking to you.
You are in Willy Coyote time.
The ground suddenly parts and opens up as if it were just a toothy maw, and there is only inky darkness below you.
Well,
Twig is just going to instantly cling to Zoaz for his life.
how do the raptors react?
Oh, they're freaking
Yeah.
out right away.
Zoaz,
They're
noticing that we're
they're
not
like cartoon going blip 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 blip.
noting that we're not immediately falling.
Well, I think Greater Image.
Oh, does it?
You believe it's real? I'm like reading it now. I think.
It's a major image, which means it's not necessarily they believe it's real, just that it does have like sound and smell if I want it to, but she's bored, so she's just using it to make it big.
Given that
Okay.
it doesn't, we don't start falling. Of course, the raptors are panicking, so Zoaz is going to roll animal handling. To try and keep his raptor in check.
What are these D6s? I'm scared.
Oh, this is spooky.
Don't mind me. Yeah, all the rappers start freaking out. Zoaz, yeah, you managed to, like, you notice this happening, and quick as you like, you get your raptor under control. Pastiche, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Pastiche, your raptor, like, in this cartoon movement where it just begins churning its legs against the sand and not sand, it just kind of like falls over, and you and your raptor plummet to the ground, and you feel sand, but there is not sand. Also, you're not falling.
huh. I think Pastiche is going to get up, dust themselves off, and start looking around the area.
All right, give me a perception check, or either perception or investigation.
Let's go with investigation.
Zoaz is whipping his head from side to side, looking for the source of whatever is going on.
Xalia, what's your spell DC again? Is it 15 or
Sorry.
or 16?
Reopen a sheet. It should be 15, I believe.
Okay. Let's
Yeah,
see.
15.
All right. Pastiche, you pick yourself up, dust the sand off, and examine this bottomless pit below you. But you can feel sand, and as you like kick around and your raptor
Reach down
kind of
and
like,
scoop a little stand up.
yeah, the raptor stands up and makes raptor noises. The you kind of like like the bottomless pit becomes like a little see-through, and you can like barely make out the grains of sand below. That's strange.
I guess Pastiche is just gonna take a quick glance at everyone else.
The raptors are flipping out. Except for Zoaz, who has gotten him under control. But yeah, what is everyone else doing? Because there's a bottomless pit below you.
Yeah, Zoaz is just, like, not panicked, but he's on high alert, trying to spot someone else other than, the caravan. Because, like a sane person, he would assume that the members of the group would not do this.
I think Makayla would have been like very zoned out while riding, and then would just suddenly get like bucked off of the raptor while they're freaking out, and as they're falling would like try to do some sort of like some kind of somatic like gesturing, and then just like faceplant into the sand.
The grit of the sand gets all over your face and everything, but by golly, there's still a bottomless pit there, but you're not falling. And then
First day as bottomless pit inspector, it has a bottom.
And then
tapping it.
Yeah, as you're tapping it, you can hear the Xalia's mad cackles as she just rides forward.
How big is this bottomless pit?
It's like it's huge. It's like 15 feet square.
How deep is this bottomless pit?
You can find out.
No, thank you.
Let's see. I think Chuman's gonna get kind of get the raptor to calm down, and then try to like get out of the area of the bottomless pit after noticing that he's not falling.
Okay. Yeah, you break off a bit and get back onto firm sand. There's something strange about that area. It looks like just an opening in the ground. They're just yawning, but nothing's going on. You all look at Xalia laughing. You get the sense that she might have had a hand in this.
Zoaz looks directly at Xalia.
Who is now ahead of you, by the way.
Yeah, eyes narrowed. Looks directly at Xalia.
It's gonna be a tentacle arm that reached out straight out of the pit and bunny arms, Zoaz.
What?
Bunny ears.
Like behind the head.
Yes. There's like a wispy shadow tendrils behind him now, but I'm making bunny ears.
Zoaz wouldn't notice. He's too busy.
Yes, that everyone else would.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Well, I didn't take Dispel Magic, so I can't actually stop her from doing this. I guess Zoaz would just sternly look at Xalia and then go around and try to make sure that we don't lose too many raptors.
Okay.
Yeah, Makayla would eventually sort of get up, sigh, and then quickly start trying to like calm the raptors down by telling them it's not real, just close their eyes and keep moving. You're still on solid ground. Just try and go around to calm them down.
Okay. Give me handling with advantage.
Okay.
Easy roll. Easy roll.
Easy roll. Actually, easy roll.
Easy roll. All right. Yeah, the raptors, like, they all kind of crane their necks towards you. And as you're saying this, Makayla, and they all just kind of like close their eyes and go with the cartoon rule of if you don't look down, you don't fall. And they all just traverse the pit, and you're back on solid sand.
Pastiche is going to be walking alongside their raptor over the pit, and once they're off of it, give it a few quick pats on the shoulder, and mount it again.
It just makes a little raptor noise at you.
Makayla might like kind of. I guess Makayla would kind of be kind of far back, so I don't know if Xalia necessarily can hear it. But she tried to make herself heard. Is like, this trip is already long enough. Do we need more delays?
Makayla's gonna get a mustache and glasses from the pit.
From the pit.
They just shoot out of the pit and land directly on your face.
No, the same shadow tentacles that are like bunny earing Zoaz continually just come up and like they have a mustache and glasses and they hold them in front of Makayla's face.
Pretty cool party trick.
Are these like what are they? The Groucho Marx classes?
Yeah, exactly. You get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Makayla looks very grumpy.
Zoaz also looks very grumpy.
Alright.
Pastiche looks mostly nonplussed, but is riding a bit closer to Xalia.
Chuman is relatively chuckling to himself at the joke.
Twig still has his eyes squeezed shut and isn't looking at the ground.
Zoaz will notice this and say, Twig, it was just a trick from Xalia.
There's no need to try to make me feel better, Zoaz. I know we're done for.
Well,
Any minute now, you'll
Twig
hit
is
the
gonna
ground.
get a pat
I'm
on the
sure.
head.
Any
The
minute.
shadows.
Twig, in your fretful state, you just imagine wind whooshing up around you.
Mm-hmm.
Xalia, go ahead and mark off your spell slot, please.
Right, yeah. I just want to verify. Can I make like actual physical touch sensations?
With major image?
Yeah, it seems a bit. It says it seems completely real, but it doesn't specify you can make touch sensations.
Seems.
Oh yeah, it's physical. It can't make it explicitly that. Yep. Okay.
Well, with the bit of excitement past, and the raptors and the group calms down a bit, and you continue heading across the continent. The Khorzaires in the group will acknowledge that you're heading closer to the center of the continent. This is met with quicker winds and a change in the topography a bit. Khorzaire, while definitely retaining its desert attributes, it shifts into something more of a savanna the more inland you travel, so that you'll start seeing shrubs and patches of grasses that are intermixed with the dunes and sand. The variety of the dunes begin to differ as well. Like where once were high domes from the sea of sands, kind of like upwind margins, there are now lower parabolic or blowout dunes. These are crescentic or U-shaped, with kind of like horns that point into the wind, and there's like a depression between the tips, and it's kind of like anchored at the short side by shrubs or rocks. And later days of travel, you also encounter coppice dunes, where the wind has like pushed sand around and like kind of somewhat engulfed some vegetation, so it's just like a bunch of sand, like with a shrub peeking out, kind of. Still plenty hot. And on the day that Xalia makes this bottomless pit, you can see that after you travel a bit more, you can see signs as you near closer to the basin city of Ituusk. You see some signs driven into the ground. As you just, they're just alongside the sun's path, casually guiding a raptor to view them. The messages posted on them read something like, "Bandits turn back. No swiping zone."
Swiper, no swiping.
I see.
You see another sign that reads, "Highwaymen, more like bywaymen."
Ooh,
Cool.
Got him.
dang.
There is another sign that reads, "Ituusk is the only city for days. Please consider any raids, or please reconsider any raids."
I feel like that one might have the opposite effect, actually.
Bailey's got a minor illusion of force sign that said Steve, more like Greaves.
Zoaz just stares.
More like Greaves? Makayla's thinking like Greaves is in like shoes, like,
No, it's
like
Sylvan
armored
Eye.
shoes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
In the horizon, you can see a shape outlined in the sun. Kind of looks overall boxy. As you get closer, you're able to observe that it seems to be a box carriage with the strangest of sights. 2 people are sitting on top of it.
Sorry, a what?
A carriage.
A box carriage, I believe. Yeah.
And
Just sitting there?
yeah, just sitting there. You get closer and you can see, like, it seems kind of like leaning. You can see the, like, as you get closer, like, you can see them and they can see you now. There's just 2 people on top. They're kind of like waving to hail you. That's it. What do you want to do? You want to go hang out? Or you want to say F them? Or you can do something completely different.
Zoaz looks at the group and says, "Well, like, does it seem like they need help? Like they're sitting on top of the carriage and they're waving us over?"
Yes, that's what it seems like.
Like, is the carriage broken? Does it look broken in any way, or?
From this distance, make a perception check.
Gladly.
Yeah, you're maybe like 100 feet away or something. That's pretty
24.
good. Yeah, so Makayla, you bring your hand over your eyes to shield from the sun. Even though it's not at that way yet, it's kind of like above you. It's around noon. So you shield from the sun directly overhead. This carriage, it's overall light brown, so it suggests that it's made out of wood. There's some like pink shades that are drawn in the center of like the enclosure door. There's there's damage indeed. The front wheels are damaged and broken, so like the whole thing is leaning into the ground a bit. The 2 people on top are wearing some light clothing. One has no shirt. The other looks like they've got like a book or something in their hands.
Is there anything in like the surrounding area, like places
Just a
people
single
to
box
hide?
carriage, nothing else.
It's just like in a wide open plain, or is it like kind of? What I'm asking is, just because Makayla has bandits on the mind now from all the signs.
Yeah.
Would there be places people could be like hiding for ambush? It's kind of what
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll keep your
she's thinking about.
we'll keep your 24 as you look at this. Like you see this scene, and then you look around. There isn't a whole lot of hiding places because of the topography change. There's just small bushes, patches of grass everywhere. Well, not everywhere. Uncommonly showing up. The dunes are smaller, so they're more difficult to hide behind. There aren't any dips or large like mountains or anything like that. You're in a relatively clear area. You can see with a 24. You can see, yeah, there's nowhere to hide.
Okay.
It is only these two people on top of this carriage. There is no one else in sight.
Yeah, Makayla would just say, seems safe enough.
Well, if they need help, then I suppose it would be a good idea to at least go and see.
Nods.
Okay. So you guys head on over.
Yeah.
And they wave you down. Indeed, this front of the carriage, its wheels are cracked and broken, and it's leaning down into the sand. Looks like it was moving kind of quickly, like it's like pushing up some sand. And you see a man and a lady. The man is what's the word? Shirtless, and he's got like braids in his hair. His overall kind of like skin like the sun. He's got like a kind of like pushed up nose. He and pointy ears, that kind of thing. But overall humanoid. And then you just got a lady, and she's got a little notebook that she's currently writing in. They hail you, and the man says, "Oh, hey there. Okay.
Hello.
Hey, can we? You don't happen to have any things to fix? Well, wagons, what there, do you?"
Zoaz would think for a moment and say, "No, I don't believe so," and sort of ruffle through his bag. No, I'm sorry.
No kind of glue or anything? Well, alright. We're just, we're close enough to Tratosk. I guess we can just hoof it from here and get some help. Oh well.
Do you need repair? Do you need your carriage repaired? Is that what you're asking?
Aye, that's right.
Do you need an
Looks
escort?
towards Chuman.
Say one more time.
Makayla looks towards Chuman.
Chuman is just not even paying attention. He's out thinking other things at the moment.
Chuman. Makayla tries to get you her attention then.
Sorry, Makayla? Need something you need?
I believe this pair could use the assistance of your mending spell.
Yes, sure. May I have a look at the extent of the damages?
Yeah, sure. And he just kind of like jumps off, just pushes off with his arms, lands in the sand, and Chuman, you hop off your raptor, and the wheels are highly damaged, but it's only the front ones. They're broken in just places everywhere. With your mending spell, it would take you several minutes, and you could probably like get something like slapdash done, but you're not sure how many like pieces are missing. Like you can repair like you can put two things together and say, okay, this is fixed, but if they're missing large parts of the wagon, then it would be less effective. You can't conjure what's not there. You can just kind of like glue things that used to be together.
Okay.
But you figure like it takes a little while. You working with this man here, and you ask Shane that you could probably do something to at least get them rolling again. But it would be a bumpy ride, and it would also take you like several minutes. Because you would have to touch like each brake.
Right. Well, seems your carriage took a major damage on the way. I could at least provide a patch job, but you'd probably need to replace at least some of these parts when you get to town.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, if it is all right with the rest of you, it should take me probably about 15.
Of course, I would not dare prevent you from aiding one in need.
Killer just nods.
Xalia
How?
shrugs.
Oh, go ahead.
I think that was it, just Xalia shrugs.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, how did you and your carriage end up in this situation?
The man kind of puts his hands on his hips and looks in your direction, Makayla. Well, some kind of weird shark or alligator bumped our cart and broke the wheels. Then our raptor got loose and looked like it. I don't think it's out there anymore. And you hear the woman from up top kind of pipe in. It looked like it exploded into sand, and we never saw it again. There was the sand, and then just a little sand fountain, and then we never saw it again. We thought about running, but as soon as we took off, the ground rumbled, so we put 2 and 2 together, and that's why we were sitting on top of our carriage.
Zoaz,
Loaded?
what would I roll to see if Zoaz knows what they're talking about?
Nature.
Okay. Because...
Chuman just mentioned...
Oh my god!
Alright, I got you though. I got you
I
though.
have something for this. Zoaz is using his inspiration.
Okay. A 12, okay. There are...
Hey,
Hey,
it
what's
is
up?
not food time.
Oh,
sure?
talking to Sigma. It's like, excuse me?
It's the party in Sigma.
It's about to be food time for someone.
Let's see. There are dangerous animals in the area, just to varying degrees. There's like land bats, ground bees, basilisks,
Terrifying foes.
rodents of unusual size, both unusually large and unusually small. Like there's newts, big newts. There's desert moose.
Big newt.
You recall sand alligators, and I mean there's more, but that's the only thing that you can think of right now while mulling over.
I mean, yeah, on short notice like that is a bit difficult.
Yeah.
You said, well, do you know if it's still in the area? This alligator?
Well, gosh, it's gotta be.
Zoaz thinks for a moment.
Chuman looks around upon hearing that.
Perhaps we should get the raptors away from the scene of the crime, eh? Zoaz nervously says.
Chuman, give me perception.
Yeah, is there any rumblings in the earth currently? Oh,
A
there it is.
natural 20!
Yay!
Alright, Chuman, yeah, you look around and you just cast a keen eye over the sands, the dunes, looking for something that'll fit this description, whatever a sand alligator is, or whatever a weird shark is. You don't see anything.
Any sand that's like awkwardly moving.
No.
Yeah, any sand that is moving in a living fashion.
You do see
Any
sand.
shark fin kicking out of the sand?
You do see some sand moving. You don't see any shark fins. You do see some sand moving though, but it is moving in such a way that it is just being pushed along by the wind. There is actually a brief moment where this wave of horror suddenly creeps over you, where you see a rock move, but it's this rock just sliding on the ground, but it's moving in such a manner where it just seems to be just a regular sailing rock, where it's just being pushed along by the wind, where the sand is particularly fine. You do see this cool phenomenon, but you don't see any creatures.
Okay.
Just a standard regular sailing rock.
Yep.
Chuman's gonna look over. Well, I should get started immediately, so then we don't have to see this shark that you mentioned of.
Perhaps Twig will stay on your raptor so as to be able to get moving if the situation calls for it.
It would be much appreciated.
Twig will nod. Sorry, go ahead.
You could just already see Chuman working on one of the broken wheels.
Yeah, Chuman, you bend down and along with the help of these two coach riders, they just kind of like hoist up the carriage and get the wheel kind of affixed, and you go in and slide your finger across the wood, just taking care not to get a splinter. Actually, roll me a d20.
We're about to take 1 damage.
Nope.
Nah, too good for that.
All right, taking care not to get a splinter. Just going across each break, like each major crunch in the wheels. There's several places where it's missing thing, like a spoke is gone, that's never coming back. There's parts where you're trying to put two sections of the wheel together, like some cross sections, but you're missing the center part, and they don't fit back together, so you can't use the mending spell on it. But after several minutes, like 7, 10, 11 minutes worth of work, and just coupled with casting your mending, looking for wood, like there's some backtracking done as you guys maneuver your eyeball through the sand, looking for wood chips and shards, and just collecting them so that way you can work your magic. You have something that looks like a wheel on each side, and it looks like it could roll.
If it works.
Give me a handyman check, I guess. whatever you think is relevant to this, you may roll it, please.
Big fan of handyman check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think while you're doing that, I think
Roll this.
Okay. They look vaguely round and circular.
Makayla might be trying to like use, I guess, ropes and whatever remains of like the carriage's hitchings to try and like, I guess, hitch her raptor and perhaps anyone else's if they volunteer to pull the carriage itself.
Oh, say, that's a good idea. I was just about to lament that we ain't got no raptor. That's mighty nice of you.
A fixed wheel is no use if it can't have anything to pull it.
Aye. Got a pretty good head on your shoulders there.
Chuman's the sweat, wipes the sweat off of his forehead, and with this one, it's definitely a lot rougher than most others, so we need a pretty good raptor.
Could I say that, like, you know, Makayla, like, maybe as part of, like, various, like, camping tools or, like, ration tools, whatever, like, kits, I guess, would have, like, a bowl or something?
Yeah.
Just, like, a small bowl. Yeah, she would, like, take some of her water out, pour it, from our flask, pour it into the bowl, and then just place it on the ground, and just to check if there's any vibration.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah, maybe like mold earth to try and like push it into the ground a little bit more.
Zoaz watches this happen and says, that is quite the idea. I had not thought of it.
Roll some straight wisdom.
Sure. Just regular old wisdom. Learned this trick a long, long time ago. 16.
Okay. I think would actually use it would be a survival check, but it's the same roll.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure survival is just wisdom. I don't have anything.
Okay. There is some vibration to it. Like there's some small ripples in the water. Your party is still milling about, though. The raptors are as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, my, I guess, general assumption is, like, this isn't really a perfect test. This is more just, like, it would be more extreme if there was something kind of, like, I could kind of see with various, like, people stepping, like, the time, like, how it kind of times with the shock waves in the water, right? The ripples. So it's, like, I feel like it's not perfect, but it's mostly just to be like, okay, nothing, like, immediate.
Yeah.
And be like, we should just go now. While
there's no immediate
not
shark
here.
attack.
Yeah.
There's not an imminent shark attack.
It's not literally right underneath us. It's kind of, like that. Maybe it's like we can't feel it, but
yeah, the ripples of everyone kind of moving around, and Chuman, and these two people kind of like messing with the raptor and like hitching it, like further securing it, and just everybody just kind of milling around. The ripples kind of like clash into each other, so it's difficult to ascertain like specifically.
It's not like we're dancing around this place, but yeah. Sure.
You feel pretty good about it, but it is definitely like inconclusive.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. And then Makayla would kind of like just take it out. And like we should. It seems whatever the beast isn't here right now. We should try and move as quick as we can.
Indeed.
Well, we sure thank you. Are we? Well, hey, Mari, are we ready to go? Yes. You can see her jump down and get back into hop into the carriage, and the man will get to the front and just kind of like mess with the reins a bit. They look like they're ready to go, and they seem like they're intent on following you.
Zoaz just kind of looks to the rest of the group and shrugs and says, well, I suppose for the moment we're down to 4 raptors, but we're up a carriage.
Yeah.
At least until Tratosk.
Oh, it shouldn't be too much further.
Indeed. I will ask, though, saying to the man and the woman, that once we reach Tratosk, we receive our raptor back, of course.
Oh, sure. We'll be able to get our own when we reach the crossroads.
Zoaz nods.
I promise, like, if I still have talk with animals still on, I promise, like, an extra treat or something to my raptor for this.
That's good. I like that.
During the time it would take to repair it, speak with animals would fall off, but you do get it. But as you're saying this, you do get a...
Nice.
Alright. Well, cool. You help these people and get them along. And is Twig with Chuman now, or has Twig is Twig gonna resume behind Zoaz?
That's a good question.
I think would resume behind Zoaz now that there's no danger of needing to make a hasty exit.
Okay. So your raptors carry you through the land on their backs. The saddlebags kind of like clapping against their scales, and then the the wagon produces some kind of cacophony with its half mostly or somewhat broken wheels. It's like it's awful. Their cries to each other, like the raptors, just their cries to each other, often like punctuating your conversations. As this happens, like just you travel a few more miles together. You see another sign. It reads, oh my goodness, what does it read? Oh yeah. It reads Tratosk, number of days without a burgle, 458. Only a loser would break the streak.
Wow.
Well, clearly only a loser would break the streak.
Tempting.
You can see your destination. You can see the lovely city of Tratosk in the distance in the horizon. You can see kind of like the rises of the buildings on the horizon. In between that, though, keeping your minds on the present, you're kind of maneuvering around. You can see a bit of a stone structure reaching out of the ground. As you're maneuvering through, you can see kind of little bits just poke out of the sand. And as you're just riding on your raptors, and then the dude in the cart going over there too, he's just following you guys. What's the group doing as you've traveled maybe about about 2 more hours since you picked up cart people?
That was basically just big chillin'. He's keeping an eye out for any sand alligators ? But other than that,
all right.
Any land bees, of course.
Land bees are very important.
Mm-hmm.
They're a pretty scary beast.
Land bees. Yeah, I think Makayla would be, mostly very much preoccupied with trying to keep the carriage going straight and not drifting with the weird wheel, and trying to keep that any extra unnecessary debris and rough path. Just trying to smooth it out with smoother. Try and just make this as painless of a trip as possible.
Okay, a good idea.
Bring you guys to
the stone
following behind the carriage.
Okay.
Just so they get a good look if anything does happen to go wrong.
Okay, let me get an arrangement here. We're traveling east, and let's see, Korakon's over there. But what's the marching order, guys?
Zoaz would probably be in front, and anyone on Zoaz Raptor would be up front with him.
Pastiche is in the back.
I mean, the Makayla's Raptor would be pretty slow since it's dragging the carriage. So it's probably further towards the back, I guess.
Oh, Makayla, where are you, right? Because
I think I'm
it's your
driving
raptor,
the carriage.
So you're on the carriage?
Yeah, I assume so.
Okay.
I think that's kind of the...
Yeah, Chuman would be nearby just to watch the carriage
Okay.
in case it breaks again.
Alright, and where's Xalia?
In chat. Xalia would be behind the carriage.
Bailey is also looking at the carriage with her magnifying glass as well as the 2 other people.
Oh, okay. So you examine the carriage. We'll make a perception check, please, because you're on a raptor and blah, blah, blah. You kind of look at him through the magnifying glass. Perception check, please. Thank
Yeah, I
you.
was clicking through to it.
Sorry.
Good job.
Alright.
Is everything okay though?
So you're looking through the magnifying glass, and at the distance that you're at, it kind of magnifies it too much, and might be like a little blurry, a little difficult to see. But you bring it up over the people, kind of like sidle next to them, and just take a glance at the man in front there, and nothing especially changes. You can see like he's got kind of like a differently shaped nose than most other people. There's some muscle behind him. Braids. You have read about these type of people before. This is actually a Githyanki, and you recall that these people are especially strong in the mind, and he looks like he's also strong in the muscle. The woman's inside, so she's not available to be seen and examined yet. All right. Let's see. So as you pass, or as you get kind of up alongside, and you pass this kind of little stone structure. Move everybody over here. Zip, zip.
To get a better image of this in my head, we're like traveling in this direction, and like this is the front of the group, and you know this would be towards the back of the group.
Right.
Okay. Sort of diagonally past this little structure.
Yeah, there's like little kind of like little pointy bits kind of jutting up out of the sand, and then there's like a larger kind of like it's just like a rectangle with a kind of like a roof on top of it, and then just like another pointy bit on top of that. It's just jutting up out of the sand, you know, as you do. And
as you do.
Let's see. Pastiche. Pastiche, you sense something amiss, and you notice an acute change in the raptor's behavior. And you can see some like shrubs get sucked down into the ground. Often, like maybe to the north.
Okay.
Apologies, to the south.
Okay.
Complete opposite direction. What do you do in this quick moment?
I think Pastiche is gonna kind of cut across the group in front of Xalia and Chuman and just position themselves to be the furthest south.
Okay. When you do this, at this exact moment, Pastiche, let's see, Chuman, Pastiche, Chuman, Pastiche, and Korikon. All of your raptors just kind of like all freak out and do like the jump straight up in the air with like limbs and talons outstretched like surprise cats thing. I need athletics or animal handling or acrobatics from the three of you, please.
All right.
Easy.
Nice.
Don't jinx it.
Well, if you say it once you've rolled, it's deterministic. You can't. Oh,
Easy.
He's the acrobat.
All right. As this happens, you know, the raptors leaps some feet into the air, and Korikon almost drops his parcel like on the sand, but manages to keep it tucked under. And then through the cacophony of raptor noises, your beasts of burden look like they're about to bolt. What do you do? This is everybody else. Yeah.
Yeah. This is audible.
Like the raptors are freaking out. Yeah.
Yeah. Zoaz, I think, would have a pretty good idea of what's about to happen, based on the description of what the man and woman said before. Zoaz is going to yell to the carriage, "Keep going, Makayla. You make sure that if something gets past, there's someone to protect them." And will get off his raptor and I guess his first instinct would be to send it off, give it a firm pat so that it doesn't stick around and get hurt.
Okay. Bloop. Yeah. The raptor and Twig continue on.
Yeah. Forgetting Twig is on the raptor as well, of course.
After hesitating for a second and realizing that he's riding off, Twig would also try to hop off.
Okay. Zip zip.
The rolling leap.
Yeah, you dismount. What's everybody else up to in this quick situation?
I think trying to just keep control of my raptor, and I was told to keep kind of just be ready to just try and book it, so that's what I'm ready to do.
Alright.
Yeah, the idea that Zoaz was trying to get across is make sure if something happens that there's someone to defend the carriage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the way Makayla took that is be ready to just try and run, well, at least get them out of the area.
Uh-huh.
You at least initially deal with whatever's happening.
Okay. So this raptor probably going that way. This one, zoop zoop zoop. Raptor goes this way. You guys are represented by the raptors, not necessarily your tokens, of course.
Uh-huh.
So as
the raptor squeezes by.
All right. So raptor, Makayla, you and the gentleman on the front directing this raptor, you see that you suddenly need to spurt forward, and looks like for a moment you're about to hit the stone structure, but you and the gentleman managed to curve the raptor around and curve the cart around. It is a very, very bumpy ride. It's kind of groaning forward, threatens to break the wheel again, but somehow you manage to move it between Zoaz and the stone structure, and you're just moving forward. Pastiche, Chuman, and Xalia, what are you guys doing?
I think Chuman is.
I don't think Xalia is particularly reacting.
Okay. Moving right along. Soup soup.
As Pastiche's raptor kind of comes down from hopping around, they're going to ride that momentum to leap off their raptor. And throw down a mirror image as they hit the sand.
Oh snap. Okay. As many pastiches apparate into view. What's Chuman up to?
I think Chuman is gonna move his raptor over to this little kind of cavern right here, or area, just to get it out of sight. And he's gonna hop off the raptor to about here.
Okay. Yeah, we can get the raptor over there, and then you'll be here next to Pastiche. All right. So as the raptors thunder through the sands and the creaks and the creaks and noise of the cart, and Pastiche and Chuman kind of steadying themselves and getting ready, you hear what sounds like distant thunder, and at first you think it's the wind roaring in the distance across the sand, but then you realize the earth itself is rumbling, and you see a rapidly moving bump in the sand, and it kind of curves around and out like a shark circling in water, and then it heads straight from the group. This. Go ahead and let's all roll some initiative, if you please. Zoop. Initiative.
Wait, was that... Okay, I rolled for the raptor.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
Oh, the raptors
Yeah,
are...
that's not a Twig initiative roll.
The raptors are important too.
It is true.
Should I roll again for Twig?
Yes, please. The raptors will all go on that raptor turn. Well done. Okay. So Twig, you hear this sound and you look over in the direction of it and you see this rapidly moving bump in the sand. This bump is about the size of a car. And what would you like to do?
Mm-hmm. About how far off is it?
It is very close. It is getting progressively closer. Probably like within 100 feet.
From the south?
Yeah, from the south.
This structure over here, is it like made of stone?
Yes.
Twig's gonna clamber up onto there. And
Okay.
he's gonna pull out his bow and start like tracking the bump, like ready to shoot off an arrow at whatever pops out.
Okay. Oops, that might be a little loud. There we go. All right, so you're ready in action to shoot your bow as soon as you see whatever pops out. Okay.
And that'll be it for Twig.
Okay. Let's see. So Twig, as you jump up and you ready this action, you're prepared. The bump just maneuvers very, very quickly towards your group in general. It's probably within. Let's see here. It is within 60 feet of you. It's kind of like always coming, so it's difficult to gauge like precisely where it is, or precisely like how fast it is now. But let's see. All the raptors are scooting. Zoop. Gorkon's gonna go this way. This raptor's there. This raptor's over here. Probably.
Taking Xalia with it.
Actually, no. That one's piloted by Xalia. So these actually are on different turns.
Okay.
That obedient to Xalia?
Yeah.
Well-trained raptor.
Okay.
From Korkan?
Yeah. Korkan's rolled up into this, so yeah, he moves there. Which brings us to Zoaz.
Zoaz may not know exactly what it is that's coming at us, but he has a pretty good idea of underground creatures and like their senses and stuff. Because, you know, he's been out on the savanna a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to cast Thaumaturgy in like this empty space around here. And he's going to do his best to create like intermittent, strong sort of spasms in the ground, as if something was like flopping around injured on the ground there.
Okay.
Here I thought you were going to try to sonic bomb it like it was Monster Hunter.
That's also an option, but
That's cool. Specifically has the tremors option. I didn't even know
yes. So Zoaz like whips his staff out, spins it in the air, and plants it in the sand, and then beseeches Selene for her protection and tries to channel that energy into those spasms on the ground.
Okay. That's pretty good.
He may not get it all the way. In fact, should I do like a deception or some sort of check to see if I can mimic that kind of specific thing?
Yeah, roll me Arcana, because it's magic.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Hey, not bad.
Okay. All right, yeah. Tremors. Throm.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Cool. I like it. Love it.
And perhaps having the cart whips by him, just barely missing him. So Zoaz will probably subconsciously take a step to the side, maybe forward a bit.
Okay. Where is it? Here?
Yeah, like in that general empty area, like away from the raptors, away from other people.
Okay. I'm going to place a thing there. Right there.
Yeah. So that's the tremors, the source of the tremor.
Okay.
Oh, I can click that in. There we go.
Go ahead, Chuman. What would you like to do? You can see it. This car-sized bump in the sand that is churning towards you. You do see it shift a little bit in direction. It's no longer coming directly for you.
Do I notice which way it's trying to go now, or?
It is. It's actually making a like a large curve. A curve towards your right. So on the map, it'd be west.
That direction it's curving in.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I think Chuman is gonna pull out his. He's gonna pull out his bow and back up to sort of be out of the open area and with something behind him,
Okay.
so that he doesn't get blindsided as it moves.
Okay. Sure.
And that's it. Yeah, he'll be kind of like ready to shoot an arrow as a reaction, though.
Okay. Which brings us to Makayla.
Yeah, so Makayla would be like, I guess driving the carriage forward, but then like with a feeling like she's like missing something, like forgetting something, and then as the thaumaturgy happens and like she hears the tremors and looks back, she realizes like, oh, I'm being an idiot, and immediately casts Speak with Animals again. It's not going to show up because I can't make it use this. Yeah, I'll consume an actual spell shot for this, and just yell at the top of her lungs to all the raptors, like, all raptors, stop moving now!
All raptors.
To all raptors.
Okay. Attention, all raptors.
Yeah.
Roll
so
me animal handling with with advantage. I almost said roll me animal handling with persuasion.
Over for me, I just hear the intercom.
Oops, that's supposed to be advantage, not disadvantage. So that would be a 17. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So this is
Here.
13.
Attention,
school
all
intercom.
raptors. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
To try and help the thaumaturgy actually be effective as bait.
okay. Sure.
Yeah, and she'd obviously bring her own to a stop, and then probably cast a bonus action Magic Stone just to have those ready and
Okay.
stocked up.
Great.
And that would be her turn.
Let's go to Xalia. Xalia, you notice something is going on.
Xalia has an idea that she's gonna try it. So what Xalia's gonna do is that she's going to major illusion the sky. Major image.
Okay.
And it's gonna be nothing there. Well, right now, it's gonna be like above the bump, that area, sort of deal. And it's gonna be an image of McGriffin circling very far away.
Okay. So like.
The intention is that the Griffin we fought a while back, right?
Yeah. Okay.
The intention is that is the big shot, and theoretically could be used to scare off smaller shots, yeah?
Okay. Yeah, I like it. So I'm just trying to here help me out here. So like the image is like the sky. And like in the image is like a faraway griffin.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Cool.
It's just like circling around.
Cool. Okay. Nice. as you follow the bump, we'll note that here. It is over here. As the cool. Anything else?
Not but the turn.
Okay. Let's see. Move the raptor. Boop, 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 boop. Wait, no. The raptors got told to stop. All right. And then Pastiche, you can see this very large sand thing, the land bat maybe, and it kind of like veers around. It seems to be curving towards your right, but it appears to be like kind of maneuvering around, kind of past you. What would you like to do as we come to your turn?
Noting this turn and hearing the tremors directly behind them, Pastiche is going to spin in place, plant their staff in the ground, their brush on the ground, and ready the web spell.
Radical.
Yeah, whatever this is, it does not know what it's about to get into.
If something should come out of the ground in this area, then web will be cast. Probably not right there. I don't want to catch myself in it, but
Okay.
a little bit further west, probably.
Okay. This sounds like a fun plan.
You'll lay into him, fellas.
Take 'em, lads.
All right. Twig. Which brings us to you. You're on top of this stone structure.
Mhm.
Readying your bow. You thought it might have popped out sooner, but your aim and your muscles relax a bit as you take another deep breath. And what would you like to do?
By this point, Twig's arm is like shaking with exertion from holding the bowstring back. Like takes a deep breath. Is there anything there yet?
Not quite yet. It appears this must be a creature. It's kind of like driving towards this rock, and then it appears to be kind of like curving around towards the party, chasing you guys. But all the raptors have moved, or all the raptors have stopped.
Twig's just gonna like take a step to the side, away from the source of the noise, and pull back the bowstring again, and just stay ready for when it pops out.
Okay. And let's see here. So you ready your bowstring, knock an
Yes.
arrow, pull back, and what happens on the next turn is as Xalia moves her image. What happens is the ground, like it dips under the rock and then comes back over and then curves around towards behind the group, and it appears to be gravitating, or it appears to be heading towards the tremors that are rhythmically sounding as Selene beats on the bongos in the ground. And the ground kind of like shakes and rolls, and then bursts open with a groan from the earth to reveal a terrible... Well, that's kind of loud. Let me turn that down. There we go. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Bursts open to reveal a terrible armor-plated large monstrosity with a dome-shaped beetle-like carapace, thick gray plates of overlapping chitin that are protecting powerful legs, with claws the size and apparent function of spades, that soars upwards as it breaches the ground, sand cascading everywhere, careening many feet through the air straight towards you, Chuman.
Oh no.
As it bursts up like in the part where Zoaz was making the tremors, bursts up, and then it breaches the ground, and then is now coming down towards Chuman. Go ahead and release your ready actions, Twig and Chuman and Pastiche.
Oh. Question
Yes.
for you. This will only be one arrow, correct?
It's a single
Because
arrow.
it's a ready action.
Yeah.
Okay. Does Dread Ambush apply to this?
Unfortunately not, because it's the second round.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Would it make its dexterity save now? Because if it gets caught in the web, then these attacks would have advantage.
We'll say because you're last in initiative, yours goes off last.
Okay.
$14?
Interesting question, though.
What?
I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, we'll say because you're last in initiative, because like there wasn't any other like
Right.
like scenario described like after or before they shoot, something like that. Let's see, a 14 does not hit. You loose your arrow, and it kind of like ping bounces off the armor plates. As it it bounces off the armor plates of its head as it breaches the ground. Let's see here. A 12 also does not hit. Just ping ping. Both of it kind of like bounce off of the off of its hide. This gray stuff goes on, and then we have a save to make.
Yes.
Okay.
DC 14 dexterity.
Let's see. When does web go off? Does it go off right away? At
Each creature that starts its turn in the webs or that enters them during its turn.
Well, he hasn't cast it yet.
True.
Webs.
Oh.
It's at the start of your turn. We'll say you would know that, and you cast it. Creatures don't make a save like as soon as you cast it. It's as soon as they start that turn.
Right.
Or they enter it for the first time.
Right. So let's see. It's a dexterity save. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the condition you said for ready action was like whenever anything comes out of the ground. So
An 11. Is that so? Is that so? Get a load of this.
Oh,
You know what? We'll say I put it a little bit further south and did catch myself in it,
Okay.
just to make it unambiguously not hit any friends.
Uh-huh.
All right. Yeah, you are also enwebbed. So yeah, that goes off successfully. As it as it breaches the ground, Pastiche, you quickly paint a web in front of it and just kind of like bungees. And now, as you have it trapped in your arcane, in your vibrant webbing, made out of paint, you can see that like through the threads and through the paint and like through the burst sand, you observe this land shark is it's slightly emaciated, and like bits of flesh are exposed where its protective shell is cracked or broken in places. And instead of leaping out of the ground, it's going to, let's see, zoop. It'll get out of there. It's going to use its action to get out of there. Strength check. Actually, you know what? No, it wouldn't do that. We'll just bite you. Alright, here he goes. Regular roll. Does a 22 hit something?
Question. Is it using its eyes to find me?
It is not.
Okay. Then a 22 hits me.
Okay. It is sensing your movements where you slammed your brush into the ground and like maneuvering around. Let's see here.
Oh,
that's a lot of dice.
alright. Hang
30.
on.
Holy crap!
Excuse me?
That one shot's Makayla.
So 39 piercing damage.
Alright.
Is it one-shot Pastiche?
Does it look like Pastiche is on the ground?
Zoaz can't see. There is a fountain of sand.
Pastiche looks like they're enwebbed.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of pastiches. One of them might be on the ground.
Yeah.
You're definitely gonna hear a sound you've never heard before.
There's a cloud of sand.
Through the
Steal
cloud
later,
of sand,
losers. That's the
you
smoke
get a
dissipates.
massive chomp on your hip and like your upper thigh, Pastiche, as it
Oh.
kind of like lurches towards you and just kind of like wriggles through the end webbing and just takes a big huge bite out of Snakefolk,
Uh,
and it just
how do
makes
concentration checks work again? Is it
it is a
the number that's lower?
It's a
Or
Constitution save at 10 or half the damage you take, whichever is higher.
Alright.
So, just roll a 20.
Yeah.
Easy.
All right.
I'd like to use my inspiration.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You may re-roll.
No!
Natural 20. Very nice.
What a gamer!
I'd like to use my powers.
The web remains. Pastiche holds fast.
As this huge shark chomps out or chomps on you and just kind of like gnawing at you and just like wriggling in the web, like threatening to just kind of like roll around like an alligator would. Your concentration on the spell, like the vibrant the paint kind of like looks like it's about to evaporate, but then you open your eyes and then there's a fierceness in your eyes, and then the paint kind of like whips around and like there's some inky drops going everywhere, and it looks really cool.
The webbing
and
takes on a deep red tint.
it absolutely does. And we're restrained. Let's see. Well, that's
I'm not
its turn.
fucking here with you.
Korkan is leaving.
Yeah. Bye!
All right, the Raptors. Raptors are gonna obviously do not like the situation, but they kind of like tap and move around like anxiously, and they're looking one way and the other, and they look like they don't want to be here. Which brings us to Zoaz.
The well-trained raptors. If I was the raptor right now, I would be running.
Raptors of Khorzaire are especially praised for their training.
Uh-huh. Zoaz just, like, his eyes go wide. Like, he shields himself from the spray of sand, and when he, when his arm moves away, when he feels like it's done, his eyes go wide as he sees Pastiche, in this thing's maw. God. What would Zoaz do? Calm emotions is the right option. No. I think... God. And I'm so far away. Man, 30 feet. I could do that. I think Zoaz would... I think Zoaz would activate Aura of Vitality.
Okay.
Which is a 30-foot radius around Zoaz. And would then move forward to here, right outside the web's radius, and then heal Pastiche. Hey, not bad.
I'll take it.
It's a little bit. It's something.
Okay.
Pastiche's eyes light up ever so slightly.
Yeah.
The warm grace of Selene.
And I guess that would be Zoaz's turn.
Alright. Chuman, I've got bad news.
Lay it on me.
There's a giant shark, sand alligator, ground bee, and it is taking a big, it's taken Pastiche out for lunch. What would you like to do?
Just to
You can
make
see
sure.
you can see like a vague, not a vague, like you can see a like a glimmer of a griffin in the sky.
Two questions. If I move from my spot, does it have an opportunity of attack since it's webbed?
You have dealt with creatures that burrow through the earth, given your earlier adventures, and you know that anytime you are close to a creature, that it is always dangerous, especially one with a size such as this one. If it could.
Let's see. Human is.
Would it be making that attack at disadvantage because it's restrained?
You're also restrained.
It evens
No,
out.
not that one. I mean, if Chuman were to leave,
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's
If
attack of opportunity.
if it did, it would be at disadvantage because
Okay.
because the bullet's restrained.
Let's see. If I remember mechanics correctly, Chuman is going to move over to Pastiche. And he's gonna try and free him.
Okay.
I assume this does not do opportunity
Let's
attack
see.
of opportunity because I'm still within 5 feet.
Right. You haven't left its threat range.
Right.
So it does not meet the criteria for that. A creature. Let's see here. Sorry. A creature should make a strength check, please.
No,
As you're
athletic.
struggling to pull them out of this web, Pastiche is going to groan. I don't need your help, you idiot. Get out of here.
And then there he goes. Blink.
After a bite from that monster, the hell you are.
I've lived through worse.
And with that, get the right one.
Yeah. Managed to kind of like brush, wipe, or cut this this webbing, but it's distinctively inky. Like it doesn't have like the adhesion that you would have expected, Chuman. Yeah. You managed to free Pastiche.
And Chuman's gonna cast Finder's Mark on him.
Okay. We're marked out.
And that will be his turn.
Oh. Since it already has Hunter's Mark, is it... I can't now also cast my own Hunter's Mark, right?
No, you can.
Oh, I can?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure how spell stacking like that worked.
It's it's fine. It just doesn't.
Okay.
You just don't trigger it twice. You just trigger your own.
Sure. Got it.
Man, I gotta say, Zoaz was not prepared to fight a ground bee today.
Especially an undead ground bee.
Oh, jeez. I think Makayla would... God. Well, okay. Well, things that are happening. She's gonna cast her own Hunter's Mark. Oh, that is not my character sheet, that is a Raptor's. Assume spell. And then, throw 2 magic stones at the bullet, or whatever it is.
It's a bullet, yeah.
It'd be advantage, right?
Oh, yeah, it would be.
Because it's restrained. So we'll say between an 18 and a 9, and 18 hits.
Okay. And then 13, is that?
13 does not.
Okay. Let's just go, since it's already restrained, let's just go for max damage.
Hitting with green sharpness.
Uh-huh.
Oops, that's done. Alright, so 3 damage from Hunter's Mark, 5 damage from the actual stone, and then additional 4 damage. What is that? 12 damage?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. And then Makayla would yell again to the raptors. Move away from the beast. Then hold position.
You hear,
And then try and initiate the raptor she's on to move, just forward. Continuing a little bit more north east.
Okay, you hear some raptor noises. Alright.
Perfect.
Which brings us to Xalia. As you're maintaining concentration of your major image, you do notice that as it's chomping on Pastiche, one of its eyes kind of it appears to be kind of like a lazy eye, but then it just kind of snaps to the griffin, or it snaps to your image, and it appears to be. It appears it has his attention. Or
Yeah,
at least
the griffin is, for what it's worth, the actual griffin that we fought.
Okay. Big old golden griffin, huge wings.
Yep. And it's gonna start swooping down directly at this the sand shark.
Oh no. Okay.
It will get here in 1 round.
Griffin imminent in 1 round.
I hear the Counter-Strike announcer,
Yeah.
or the Half-Life, the Source engine.
You have 1 round to reach minimum safe distance.
Exactly.
UAV inbound.
All right. So I think that's your
Griffin
action
will
to.
wait patiently for his revenge, but only for 25 turns.
I think that's your action to control it, or am I wrong?
I don't know. She's not gonna do anything else though.
Okay. Are you gonna move or stay there?
Yep, just gonna stay there.
Okay. All right. As the image of this griffin does a little circle and then tucks in its wings, prepares to dive bomb this undead bullet, this wandering bullet, positioning itself against positioning itself against the sun, so only the silhouette is available. Pastiche, I have bad news for you too.
Yeah?
I need you to make a dexterity save.
All right.
Easy, don't worry.
True.
Think about how acrobatic you were before.
All right. When Chuman cuts the webs and wipes the ink off of you, and you finish yapping back at him. No sooner do you finish your sentence than you are re-wrapped up by the vibrant energies of your paint.
Pastiche is going to sharply hiss at Chuman, turn back to the beast, and attempt to take a bite out of it.
Yo, bite him back.
Get his ass.
Sure, go ahead. That hits.
Oh, it was so close! Okay, I thought it was a nat 20 and I was gonna pop off so hard.
Oh yeah, you don't have
Pastiche,
advantage on
you open your jaws, and just like a snake, it kind of a long, it's a long bite, and you move forward, And yeah, at first it feels like you are unable to penetrate its armor, but you, with seeing only red, you just bite down. You bite down harder, and you penetrate it. Yeah, you get a good bite out of him.
Biting contest.
Yeah, biting contest. All right.
Following that, Pastiche vanishes and appears on this tower structure alongside a Twig.
Okay. Zoop. Suddenly, there's a Pastiche near you.
A Pastiche kneeling, a bit bloody.
Most of a Pastiche.
90% of a Pastiche. Which brings us to your turn, Twig. What would you like to do?
Question. I can only draw one weapon per turn, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Twig's gonna
to use an object.
Twig is gonna see the wounds on the Pastiches besides him, and like his eyes go wide, and he looks towards the monster, just like drops his bow, takes out his scimitar, and like leaps towards it, like yelling.
Dang!
He opens his beak, and the noise that comes out is this gigantic boom, like a fireball going off point blank. And he takes the biggest swing he can.
All right. Roll me roll some to hit.
With advantage, correct?
Yeah,
Wait,
with advantage.
Okay, that's if it hits.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll to hit with advantage. 23 hits.
Oh!
As Twig leaps off of the stone structure, hurtling through the air, this fireball explosion coming out of his beak as he swipes his, or sorry, sinks his, slashing, as he swipes his scimitar against the chitinous plating. You manage to cleave through it, like you get under a chunk and just carve it away, like the plate just goes flying over Chuman's head, and you do a lot of damage to it.
That would be 22 damage and 9 if it moves.
Okay. Bink. Very nice. Very nice. Anything else?
And that'll be Twig's turn.
Okay. This one is Chuman and Twig, and well, I guess anybody else looking at it, you can see as Pastiche vanishes from the creature's maw, you can see it kind of like twist around, and, like mess with the webs, try to like extricate itself from it. It wants to keep moving, then it kind of like turns its head a bit and starts with renewed fervor to attempt to get out of this dang old web. It's a strength check or a strength saving throw? I think it's a check.
That sounds right. Let me double check. Creature restrained by the webs can use its...
I'll double saving throw just in case.
Okay. It rolls a massive 6.
Well, that definitely doesn't get it out. No matter what it is.
That's
Too
really
distracted.
lucky.
Let's go.
All right. It is rolling
Yeah,
rolling around in the webs and just trying to extricate itself, but it seems to only get more entangled. It is now moving in just like a feverish kind of position, and that's its turn. Corcon leads.
For him.
All right, the Raptors also attempt to exit. Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I
group
forgot about
group.
group initiative. Totally forgot.
You're so smart.
Good raptors follow orders.
Okay. That brings us to the rest of the team.
Zoaz is considering his options.
There's a very large land bat next to you. Could be a moose, who knows?
Land bat, ground bee, might be a mole. Seems like a mole. I think Zoaz is gonna drop a moonbeam on this fool.
It's a dire mole.
I like that, a dire mole. Yeah, Zoaz is gonna drop a moonbeam on this idiot.
Ouch.
In fact, it fits perfectly around the shark.
Okay.
So then...
It's a Constitution save, yeah? No, it doesn't happen on,
no,
on
it's just
turn.
damage.
On its turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
On its
Alright.
turn. And... I think Zoaz is gonna make to get on this rock, this big old boulder here.
Okay. As you call down the might of Selene to project a moonbeam from the sun, you jump over, you maneuver through the sand and jump up on a rock. Okay. So you guys see this, Chuman, Makayla, Xalia, and Pastiche.
Very cool.
Well,
And you
Need to
probably
check
should do
something.
something.
go ahead.
You should probably do something before Xalia because the griffin image is getting very closer.
Chuman is going to use Zephyr Strike, and he is going to move away from this guy.
Okay. You have to give me an attack in order to proc the movement.
He will.
I mean, either way, you have. You don't. That's only for the additional movement. Either way, you have.
Yeah, I know. It's just for
no.
the opportunity.
Yeah, there's no opportunity attacks.
18.
Yikes.
Nice!
Mhm.
You hit both ends of the spectrum.
Both of those hit.
Right, that's the first one. It only procs on the Hunter's Mark. Only procs on the first.
Your
one,
Hunter's
right?
Mark is gone because he used Zephyr Strike.
yeah,
They're both
right.
concentration.
That is true. Oh well, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
The lows.
Yikes.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Big damage. 23 points of damage from the ranger.
As
Add it
Chuman's
on the
doing
roll.
all that, Pastiche is going to grab their brush, swing it over their head with both hands, and bring it down, firing a bolt of acid right over Twig's head.
Okay. Let's see how dexterous we are. Well, we're wrapped up in a web. Oh wait, don't we auto-fail these?
It's disadvantage, I think.
When restrained?
It is
Right.
disadvantage. Okay.
Okay. Neat.
9.
Looks like an auto-fail to me.
Yikes!
We take those?
The acid flecks onto it, starts burning in across its plating. It makes that noise, that hissing, burning noise as it starts eating down.
Oh, I should mark myself as concentrated.
Griffin continues dive bombing.
Alright, I think Makayla would, stop her carriage raptor and sort of, seeing as the raptors have all kind of moved a safe distance away, I'll just sort of tell them that, it should be good to stand by. And then, I guess actually, since the carriage would kind of jutting out a little bit, maybe, she'd get on top of the carriage, going in the sand itself.
Very cool.
And yeah, just keep throwing some magic stones.
Okay. Makayla hoists herself on top of the carriage. You pass the reins to the Githyanki. And then 17 hits.
I just tell them, don't move us. Hold on.
Oh,
Sorry,
you have advantage. Go ahead, roll again.
Yeah, well, this one. There's a hotkey I'm trying to figure out that's if you press it while you click the attack button, the advantage.
17 still hits.
Okay, 17, and then the second one, 16.
16 does not hit.
Darn.
You, with your first, you punch the stone through its armor, just making a little crater. But the 16 You're trying to make it go through and hit the same spot, but it's a little off and it bounces.
Alright, and then this is the 2 d6s for the Hunter's Mark and Gathering Storm.
Okay. Cool. This is the Griffin dive bombs.
Yeah, so she's gonna Xena's Paradox it. It's gonna be half as close. It's getting closer, but it's not not there yet.
Oh, it's still scary. Big old Griffin. It's about to eat all his magic. Go ahead, Twig. This thing's looking kind of bad, by the way. Like, you guys have been pelting it, carving away part of its armor. It's like... It was already bleeding because of its emaciated and kind of undead nature, but now it's bleeding more. It's making these awful, like, wanderer noises. Somehow they're all... every creature is able to make the same wanderer noise.
Amazing. Speaking of carving away, Twig is gonna take a swing.
Okay.
It's still restrained, right?
It's still restrained.
Yep.
That sounds good to me.
By this pesky web. Dang, at 23 hits.
Level 16.
So that's 7 damage.
Okay.
And then after making that attack, Twig's gonna pull a dagger from behind his back and try and stab it in the spot where Pastiche's acid landed.
The secret dagger. Get him.
Uh-huh. There it is.
23 hits, still.
It did not reactively gain AC.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, you stab it right in there, into the spot where the acid has kind of burned away. You find a good fleshy bit, and you stick your pointy bit in it. Does not like it very much. It's rolling around. It's going to try to get out of the web.
And it's going to make a Constitution saving throw as well.
Is it? It is.
Moonbeam, baby.
Oh no. Alright. Constitution saving throw?
Yes.
Coming
saving
right
throw
on.
DC 14.
10.
Nice. So it is going to take this much damage.
Yikes!
Not that much damage, but a decent amount.
As you pelt it with your moonbeam, it actually, like, there's like this kind of like chorus of and it appears to not like that even more.
Ooh.
Like the moonbeam like hurtles down from the heavens, and instead of just like shining and washing over your enemies, it actually just like comes down and punches through it, like smashes into the bullet as if it had force.
Yeah, like you can almost see an impact, like like gravity has increased around it.
Exactly.
The impact.
Feverishly, the undead bullet, the wandering bullet, is going to make another strength check because it wants to move. Gets a 23. All right. And
does the Griffin do anything?
Yeah, it moved closer.
yeah, the Griffin
Okay.
moved closer, and Xalia, you can see it look up again in the direction of your image, and the creature, no longer restrained, just kind of like rolls around in the ink and then like gets it off of itself and is free to move once more, and it burrows underground.
Where'd it go?
There's this huge tunnel going down, and it is no longer in sight. You can feel the tremors, like as it moves and burrows around. You can feel it. It's still in the area, but you're not sure where it is. It appears to have gone slightly deeper than its initial approach. Let's see. Korkan gets several feet away from you, and then Like he'll turn his raptor, like seeing that, sensing that you all are not following, as in you can hear like some Aldani muttering, and he's like turning around waiting for you guys. Raptors. Boop, boop. The raptors scoot. What would you all like to do?
Xalia is, now that it is underground, is going to make like the image slam down right here, and also accompany that with a huge like boom sound.
Okay.
Because she can do that with major image.
I like it. That absolutely happens.
Luckily.
Yeah, it's it's not like you're faking anything. That happens. So yeah, no need to roll for anything. there's a huge griffin and a huge boom.
Have everyone can see over a literal copy of Xalia's hand come out of the back of its neck and just wave.
Neat.
Zoaz, when it dips underground, Zoaz is going to curse. A Stellene sanctioned curse, of course. But he's going to sort of whip around to Xalia and say, Xalia, do not move. It tracks by vibrations in the ground, and then he's going to start like looking around, trying to spot any trying to spot the telltale burrowing, the moving pile of sand that is about the size of a car, whatever a car is.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Oh. Okay. While it's happening, Makayla would like sort of notice at the corner of her eye, Korrikan sort of running away, and she'd just yell, "Stop moving! It tracks motion!" As loud as she possibly can to hopefully have Korrikan hear over 60 feet away.
You swear you hear a shkol.
I guess 22 is fine. But just because of Hunter's Mark, I have advantage on perception checks or survival checks to find this creature.
Okay.
So, it's already 22, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Well, you don't know you got a 22.
Fair enough.
You don't know what a 22 is.
True.
You don't know what a perception check is. Would you like to try to track this creature? Excellent. Alright, cool.
Dang!
Let's see. Yeah, Zoaz, you don't see anything. Makayla, you do have an acute awareness of where it is because of your magic attached to it. And you can sense that it is absolutely still in the area. It has moved slightly closer to you.
I don't like that. That would be my action, I guess. If we're still kind of working on that, turn structure.
Okay. Chuman and Pastiche, so go ahead, Chuman.
I'm gonna bless up properly, because I still haven't done that yet.
Alright. You imbue... you imbue your staff with the power of Ait.
Human is actually going to throw a torch right down here.
Okay.
Just to see if it kind of pulls its attention. So after Zoaz mentioned about the vibrations.
Okay. Alright. Let's see. We'll say Pastiche was away. We'll say they take the dodge action because they're not here. Which brings us to Twig. You can sense the vibrations in the ground since you're very close to the epicenter of this. They feel like they're right under you.
Did they leave behind a visible hole, or is
Yes.
it just they're under the sand?
There is a visible hole under the sand. Sorry, there is a visible hole down. It's just going down, and looks. It's currently open, but it's rapidly filling in and forming a sinkhole.
Could I peek into it and see if there's anything, if the monster is still visible inside of it?
Okay. Yeah, easy enough to do. You lean over and you see down. You can see like the tunnel kind of like curve and like do a right angle turn. The right angle turn is towards you. It is at least moving in this direction. Oops. At least moving in this direction. But you cannot see the creature, and like the sand's rapidly filling in the tunnel.
And Twig is gonna warily like take a step back and clamber up onto the stone formation, and just like bend his knees a little bit, get ready to dodge. Like just start being ready to dodge whatever comes his way.
Okay. Let's see. So, what happens next is there is another creak and groan as the desert moose comes out and leaps out of the ground right where you once stood, Twig. And seeing nothing, it just kind of like leaps through the air. It gets about like 20 feet of airtime. Sorry, like 20 feet up in the air and like a good 3 seconds of airtime, and then it lands on you.
Oh,
well.
Uh-oh.
I
would
bench
like-
this. Just do that.
I can bench this.
If you would like to see if you can bench it, you can. I need a saving throw from you as this thing lands on top of you. It is either a strength or a dexterity saving throw. You may choose.
Disclaimer: I do not think Twig can bench this.
This huge,
Bro,
like,
do you even lift?
like dome-faced, like shovel-faced creature with this dire mole has jumped from the ground into the air and landed on you, Twig. What would I need a saving throw, either strength or dexterity?
Let's go with the dex saving throw.
Sheriff from the top of the
Quick
rails.
moment.
A 17. All right. So as you see this explode out of the sand and come down towards you, you quickly lurch yourself in a direction. Unfortunately, like it still manages to get you a little bit, and it like kind of like lays into you, like lays like a beached whale. It just flops on you, but you manage to kind of like scurry out from under it. You take half damage, so 34. You take 17 damage.
Could I use my reaction to uncanny evasion though?
You can. You can have it again. So half of 17 is 8. Rogues.
Hey, pretty good.
Okay. And then, let's see. It doesn't like that grid. Oh, you know what?
I mean, there's also a giant illusory griffin right here.
Yeah, it doesn't like that very much. It's going to... let's see. It appears its plan of attack has changed, where instead of staying on the ground, it is going to take its prey and run. It begins burrowing underground in this space, and then, let's see, 10, 15, 20, Twig, with no ground beneath you, you tumble down along with the land shark, struggling to keep your footing as the creature tunnels down without a regard for anything.
Who's standing on the structure?
It's...
It was.
Or did it?
It was a structure.
Okay.
It broke it on the body flail.
Damn.
Let's see, it still has that many movement. Okay. The rest of you watch as the wandering bullet and Twig disappears down beneath the sands.
I have a plan.
Uh-huh.
Zoaz is going to shout Twig, and then is going to activate Twilight Sanctuary. So the area around Zoaz is filled with dim light, like it resets, it overdoes the bright light, right? Because it's daytime out, but it's dim light inside the sphere, correct?
Filled with dim light. Yeah, it fills it with dim light.
Okay. And Zoaz is then going to activate Steps of Night, but he's not going to fly yet. Currently, he is going to run over and try to jump into the hole and grab Twig as best he can.
Okay. The hole is already a little deep.
Is it? Okay.
So you can jump down the hole.
Yes, that is, like Zoaz is running over and then jumping down the hole.
Okay. You can you can still see them, but yeah, you're jumping down the hole.
If that is the case, Chuman is going to lasso.
Actually, wait. Can I redo this? I have a better idea. Or are we saying this is chess rules where I took my hand off the chess piece, so I went?
Flip a coin.
Okay.
Tails is no.
Come on.
Okay, you can take it back.
Okay. So I just realized action economy, so never mind. I'm
All right.
stupid.
Too late.
Sorry.
All right. So, Chuman, you were saying you take out your lasso as you see Zoaz leaping into the hole.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to lasso him as he's jumping down in order to at least be able to pull him back out.
Okay. Go ahead and make your lasso check.
Got it. Oh wait. To be with disadvantage, correct?
Yes.
I would like to use. Actually, wait. I'll wait till what you say.
Okay. A 9. It'll probably be against their since Zoaz is in motion, I'll make it his armor class. 9 unfortunately does not hit Zoaz. He's moving too quick.
I'll re-roll that with my inspiration.
Okay, cool.
Wait. Stubborn.
Darn. I was gonna get real hype.
You whirl your lasso over your head and you toss it towards Zoaz. As he makes a sudden burst of movement, you try to line it up and where he first breaches down into the hole, but unfortunately, the rope has too much air resistance on it, and it doesn't get to him in time.
You just hear Chuman curse under his breath as Zoaz disappears into the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Then he looks over. Well, I guess at this point, try to see if there's any vibration, like which direction it might be going.
Okay. It would be an action to do something like that.
Oh, okay. Then that's all that Chuman has. So.
Alrighty. Makayla, Xalia, and Pastiche.
What does Xalia have?
Pastiche, do you have to see your targets to teleport them?
Xalia's gonna. I think what Xalia's gonna do is she's gonna make the griffin smaller and make it just start running into that hole.
Okay.
Just full speed, and also make it like screech loudly doing that.
Alright. Blah 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 blah. Scream!
Indeed I do, as Steve says, as they
Okay, like a
loop around the structure and try to peer down the hole.
Okay. You look down the hole and you see let's see. you see a hole first and foremost. You hear all sorts of commotion as this bullet is digging through. But I think you see a griffin.
Oh.
And you see Zoaz.
All right.
An enemy approaches.
You see a golden griffin, and like beyond that, like in the spots that spots of the hole that is not taken up by the griffin because Xalia made it smaller. You see Zoaz.
Well,
No time to communicate overlapping plans.
Pastiche saw the griffin wave, so time to sit back and see what happens.
Be a really useful time for Mitch. Yeah, Makayla doesn't have anything she could really do to help here. I guess. Yeah, I mean, I'll try and sense it, I suppose.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a perception with advantage. Or survival.
14.
14, okay. Enhanced by the hunter's mark on it, your ability to detect it is simpler. And you get it has not moved from its current like horizontal location on this plane. It appears like at this time it's just down in the ground.
Just taking thing down. Okay. Yeah. That's all I got, I guess.
Okay. All right. Which brings us. I think that's everybody. Which brings us to Twig. As you are, as this thing belly flopped on you and then started digging the ground away underneath you, and you're just kind of like tumbling behind it. It's you're like tumbling along with it as it's burrowing down into the sands of Khorzaire, digging towards the center of the core of the planet.
I want to go there.
You're struggling to keep your footing. It's just like tunnels down. Like there's limbs going everywhere. Huge claws the size of shovels, just lifting through earth and like lurching through earth. What would you like to do as you're just kind of like constantly falling behind something? Or like along with, yeah. It's kind of like you're kind of like under it, but also not.
Looking up, can I still see daylight?
Yes.
You would see
Alright.
like you would see a sea of stars actually, because Twilight Sanctuary is probably filling up the entire hole.
Just kidding. You don't see daylight at all. It's actually suddenly dark.
Yeah, it looks like nighttime almost. Actually,
As long as it's not pitch blackness or sand.
yes,
Alright.
it is still visible.
I think it's time.
Oh yeah, you see Zoaz, and you see a large golden griffin, very similar to the one you fought in Firefinger. You can see like bits of dim light peeking around, but you can't see the top of the hole because of all these creatures that are coming down.
Twig is extremely confused by the griffin, but there's no time to think about it. He's gonna take his grappling hook and just throw it upwards to the top of the hole.
Okay. Give me a dexterity check with disadvantage.
I really hope that it just whips into Zoaz's head, knocks him unconscious.
Nice try. Twig is far too dexterous for that.
You are far too dexterous for that. It misses Zoaz. It whiffs through the griffin. At that point, there's a sudden lurch in the bullet, and it kind of like slams the grappling hook into the wall, and it's currently like skidding, trying to find some purchase, but it currently does not have any yet. And it's just kind of like bouncing back and forth, digging in for a bit, doesn't find anything, ricochets off of the sand. Anything else, Sir Twig? Oh, did we lose Twig?
No, I'm
okay.
I'm here.
Okay. Anything else as this happens? Haven't quite caught any purchase yet.
Is there any way for Twig to move, or is it like just constant falling right now?
It's constant falling. You're considered prone, but you can try to kind of like squeeze something. It would just be very difficult.
Could I try to like claw onto the wall and just stop the descent with my movement?
Yeah, make me an acrobatics check.
Sure.
Or no, you said you were what's your strength modifier?
-1.
Okay. Do you have proficiency in athletics?
No, not in athletics.
Okay.
Had to think about it.
We'll make it against its constitution because it's kind of like trying to stop it as just its weight is going down. Hey, all right. Yeah, you manage to kind of like get on the other side of it. Like you manage to like claw, or you sink your talons in and then like maneuver around in such a way where you're no longer under its arm, so to speak. You're now just toppling down on its rear.
Mm-hmm.
Covered in blood. Because it itself is a bloody mess, and now you are like not really drenched, but like you're covered in its blood.
And probably a little bit of mine.
Some of Pastiche's as well. Okay. Let's see. I need to eat Twig.
No.
So the bullet coming to its turn. The bullet feels you and acknowledges you trying to maneuver around and like take hold and stop your descent. It's actually at this point that the grappling hook does manage to like click into something, so you've got it like wrapped around your wing as you're trying to claw on the side just to get on the other side of the bullet. The bullets. Let's see. Well, it's gonna bite you. Due to the tight space, it's gonna struggle to bite you. It's a 12 hit.
No.
Okay. The bullet gonna bite you again. Just kidding.
No.
It will. It then burrows down. Like it continues burrowing down. And let's see. Burrow speed. Okay. It continues burrowing down, and it's taking you with it. Like it's such a heavy beast, and it's dragging the grappling hook down with you, Twig. You can see Zoaz also dropping down, and the bullet kind of like it's breaking through the earth, clawing down, just dragging you with it, whacking you with its tail, just jostling you, and it breaks into a greater tunnel, and it kind of like lurches itself forward, and just kind of like slams into another wall and like burrows through it, and it kind of like flops down, and that's actually a big fall. Hang on. One moment. Uh, 10 feet, it's a 20-foot drop. Oh my god. Alright. There's like this sickening kind of like splat noise. Like dropping like a creature, an animal that's just like on tile floor. It hits this stone and just kind of splat. And it had 4 HP left, so that fall damage is enough for that fall damage is enough to kill it. Like it
kill itself?
Yeah, it manages to kill itself, unfortunately.
Great.
And there's like this groan, and Twig, you are now hanging from a grappling hook that has managed to dig itself into the side of this rock chamber. It is only managing to hold because of the bullet dug through like some kind of stone, and the grappling hook is jammed in against whatever roof that it was. And you are now dangling 15 feet in the air. You kind of like roll and tumble down through the air, but holding onto the grappling hook, you manage to keep from also splatting into the ground. So combat's done. Okay. And let's see here. So the situation is now, as you guys, it'll echo up through the tunnel. You can hear kind of like the death throes of this creature. Just Twig, you look down and
Zoaz should also see it too, right?
Yeah, Twig and Zoaz, you look down and you can see it kind of like push its feet and its legs through its death throes, and it's got blood that spills out from all of it, where kind of like leaking through the armor plates of it. Twig, you are dangling maybe 5 to 11 feet above the ground. You feel like you're in a spacious chamber, but you are just dangling in the air on a grappling hook as Zoaz is hurtling down towards the ground, followed by a griffin. And then Pastiche and Chuman and Makayla and Xalia, you can hear just and kind of like with the bleh punctuation, the beast is slain. So Zoaz, you are currently falling through the air. What would you like to do?
Zoaz is going to Misty Step next to Twig.
Okay.
Whoa.
And he's going to stop himself in the air with Steps of Night. And while saying, "Hang on tight," he's going to try to grab Twig.
Okay.
Does Twig let himself be grabbed?
He will.
And Zoaz is going to rocket 30 feet straight up with Steps of Night.
Okay. As you do this, curiously, Zoaz, even though you're focused on Twig, you do see some stuff down here with your impressive dark vision. You see some kind of like salmon glows of telltale dragon shards. You can see that it is actually kind of like a spacious cavern. It looks like it's a rough dug tunnel, perhaps by the bullet, as it kind of traverses its hunting grounds. And you can see some kind of like flickers of light down there. And you can see kind of like some alcoves where the tunnel could go into separate spots. And you see all this, and then you go up past the griffin image. Zoop! Zoaz holding on to Twig.
I assume now we're like 10, 15 feet above the ground. Or maybe just 5, because we were so far down at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Next chance Zoaz gets, he's going to slowly descend to the ground and then set Twig down.
Alright. Gingerly, you set the Kenku down.
And then Zoaz is going to fall flat on his back, arms splayed out, panting.
Is the beast dead?
I think so.
You see Makayla like visibly relax. She would have been like pretty much just stuck in like a very combat ready posture to holding her staff. And now she just kind of like her body just like detenses. And she actually like moves from her position on top of the cart or the carriage. She starts
On hearing
down.
Zoaz's report, Pastiche is going to drop to one knee and take some deep breaths.
Creatures like those are the worst. God, Selene, please.
Is everybody okay? Makayla just like yells from the top of the carriage.
Twig is on his hands and knees, kissing the ground again. And he just says, why does it always have to be so far above the ground or below the ground? Why can't we just stay on the ground?
Speaking of underground, Twig, you also saw most of that. Like just some like flickering lights, and you saw like some salmon glows of dragon shards. But since you don't have dark vision, nothing else from that.
I would assume that the dim light from Twilight Sanctuary would make it a little bit easier to spot that kind of stuff.
That's 30 feet, right?
Yes. So 30 feet from Zoaz. We weren't with the bullet. We were just like kind of halfway between the surface and that sort of extra chamber, right?
Yeah, you were dangling. Let's see. Yeah, with the dim light, you guys, I completely forgot about that it generates light, even though we just talked about it. From the dim light, yeah, you can see that there would have been a path down there, that a couple paths actually. One that seemed to have a metal grate, and one that ducked out of sight, and then just many salmon glows. But that's what you guys saw down there. But go ahead.
I think perhaps without Zoaz really thinking about it, it would the sanctuary would assuage some of Pastiche's wounds, maybe give them the supernatural ability to push through the pain.
Do you still have greater the Aura of Vitality?
Nope, Moonbeam canceled it out.
Ah, right.
And
Chuman walks over. Chuman walks over to Pastiche and mentions, "You mind?" Pointing to all the clones.
What about them?
Well, think I could heal all 4 of you?
I see. And I think right around that time, the clones will disperse.
The griffin's gonna climb out of the hole and preen itself. Its beak is gonna split into 2, and it's gonna preen like, half of itself twice at a time.
Scram!
Aw.
Pastiche will brush themselves off, stand up straight. My thanks, both of you. I'm feeling much better already.
Makayla would go to recall the raptors back. She still has, a little bit of speak with animals.
I'm actually really glad that Makayla stopped them, because I was thinking that Zoaz Raptor was about to be gone. Take off, never to be seen again.
Then whose raptor would I ride?
The carriage!
Join the carriage. Makayla's like, petting them and like assuring them that like they'll all get like an extra treat when we get into the town, into the city.
The raptors love treats.
Following orders and just like keep following orders and you'll keep getting rewarded.
The raptors indicate that they love treats.
Mm-hmm. I still have to speak with the animals on.
Yeah.
It's 10 minutes, so yeah.
Heck yeah.
Just various different raptor voices being like, treats.
Zoaz is going to slowly push himself onto his feet. And from the strenuous activity of grabbing a humanoid in midair and then, like it's powered, it's magical flight, but it still takes effort from Zoaz, and then rocketing straight upwards immediately. He's like rolling his shoulders, like holding on to one. Like, well, that was an ordeal. Is everyone all right? Oh, where's Korokon?
Accounted for, Zoaz.
Good.
Makayla goes to check on the carriage, and I assume that was the beast that attacked you, correct?
Oh, that was some excitement there, eh? Yeah, it sure was.
There was just one of those that attacked you, correct?
It was
We shouldn't
only
be
one.
expecting another one.
It was only one when it came upon us. I guess it ate a raptor then.
I'm rolling to see if Zoaz would know much about bullets and
Okay.
like if they hunt in packs and stuff.
You know that bullets are. That's a 20. Nice. You know that bullets are kind of territorial. Like they don't hunt in packs. They definitely terrorize any land that it inhabits.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
They're just irascible. They're rapacious. They hunt with like no fear for other creature. And they attack with no regard for like superior numbers or strength. So it's a little odd that this one reacted
Shied
to
away from the griffin.
shied away from the griffin. But
It was also a wanderer, so
it was
who
also
knows?
a wanderer, so who knows what kind of changes that instills. They're underground. They use their powerful claws to tunnel through the earth.
Indeed.
Like, and they don't care about obstructions either. Like, they'll uproot trees, and like or shrubs, and they'll like leave sinkholes behind them. And they definitely focus on vibrations in the soil.
Okay. Though, as knowing this is going to mention, well, it's wanderlust notwithstanding. Usually, creatures like that do not hunt in packs, so I think we should be safe for the moment.
I suppose, at least from another one of those, but I dread to think of what killed that thing in the first place.
Rather not be around to find out.
I agree.
Sure.
Indeed. Move out, gang. Zoaz says, laughing to himself, and then he winces and groans.
Helps you up.
Yeah.
Twig looks a little hesitant. But Zoaz, didn't you notice anything in that tunnel down there? And he points down the hole that's still there in the sand.
Zoaz thinks for a moment and says, Indeed, I saw that. It was more than just regular old tunnels. Seemed to be, have structure. Perhaps sort of a chamber? Suppose we could return here, or if Korokon does not mind, we could go down as we are now, but Zoaz looks at Korokon directly in their crabby eyes.
I think we should finish our escorting of, everybody to the city first. Perhaps.
Where I
Gestures to the carriage.
where I go, you go, or the other way around, Zoaz. Where you go, I go. That's the deal.
Well, I would never take the cargo down there, so at any rate you'd be staying up here and keeping track of the raptors, but I think
Was
with
down
our
there,
other
right?
charges... Oh, Makayla, speak up?
Sorry, what do you think was down there? What exactly did you see? Just some more ruins, perhaps?
Something along those lines. I did not get the clearest glance myself. Was a bit busy you see.
Chuman casually mentions, I figured you would have your share of bottomless pits for today, at least.
Well, thankfully, I think this pit had a bottom to it.
Thankfully, you did not have to experience it. Does anyone have a map? Maybe we should just try and mark this location as something of note.
I believe I could get us back here if we wanted to come back once we've reached Traitos. I'm fairly good at keeping track of the path. Finding myself on a map could be a bit more difficult.
If nothing else, the structure should make a fine checkpoint.
Indeed, a landmark, for sure. Is the sinkhole filling up right now? Like, is the sand filling it up? Or is, like, the structure of the wall that the bullet burrowed through managing to hold?
Half of it is kind of like crumpling into the hole. Like one side, like the stone structure side, the opposite, like the sandy side is crumbling down.
Okay. You mentioned there were like two paths, like one that veered off out of view and like the other with the grate. Yes. Is it the veer off side that's kind of getting collapsed in on? Or?
No, that was where you can see like where the tunnel exits is kind of like in the middle of an open space.
Oh, I see. Okay, I understand now. It's not like a grate as one path. It's like the tunnel is collapsing, and then the opening of the tunnel. There's two paths that I can see.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Well.
Either way, we should continue on to the city. Perhaps someone there might know of potentially any underground structures along this path.
Indeed.
And we should, again, finish with our task. We should finish one task before we begin another.
At the very least.
Gestures at carriage.
Yeah, get the members of our group to safety. I take it nobody is in opposition to this plan?
Twig gives a...
Haley is playing with her griffin.
Twig gives a longing look towards the hole and says, No one's in opposition.
Lying.
Lying. Okay, Zoaz
This hole, it was made for me.
This hole.
Zoaz is going to head over to his raptor.
Twig will follow Zoaz.
Perhaps
raptor noises.
The raptors and their chew toys. Perhaps in the city we could pay for some excavation if we want to return here.
We have the funds for that, I suppose.
At the very least, to get the entrance that we spied clear.
Yes.
Maybe, I don't believe that I have the funds, that I have the funding for an entire ruin exploration, but...
That would make more sense.
Securing the entrance, certainly, I believe, could be done. And Zoaz is going to... checking that everyone is mounted up. Start us on our way to Traitos again.
Yep.
All right. Onward.
Onward.
The DM sadly making a check mark, and they moved on.
Goodbye.
I was actually interested in this.
Goodbye, Necromancer.
Goodbye, Necromancer.
All right, let's see here. Next, as the party heads to the east once more, with a golden griffin in tow, just walking alongside Xalia's raptor. And
Not necessarily a griffin now. She keeps fucking with it. You know, it has more
Sure.
wings, maybe less feathers, maybe different colored feathers, maybe sharper feathers.
each time anyone looks back at it, it looks slightly different.
Maybe it has like multiple heads now.
Yeah.
Slowly it becomes Pazuzu.
The rest of the trip is comparatively uneventful. You see another sign, but this one doesn't seem legible. Like it looks like it's written in such a manner where it appears like this one hasn't been like upkept. It looks like it's missing some words, missing some letters. Like it's just kind of like weirdly arranged. So unfortunately, no joke on that one.
Lame.
The entrance to actually hang on. The entrance to Ituusk is ahead, and you can see it's lovely as you head towards and you enter Ituusk. The music changes. So amidst these mountainous dunes and scorching sands. Oh wait, you have more people now. Zip, zip. Activate. There you go. So
Nice.
amidst mountainous dunes and scorching sands, at the center of this arid wasteland that you've been traversing over for the past days, weeks, a gleaming emerald awaits. There's this lush greenery that surrounds a glistening lake. As you're entering past the gates and you're traveling down a ramp that kind of circles around and slowly brings you down to the ground level, because this city is a basin. This lush greenery surrounds a glistening lake, and there's just like a herd of raptors and other animals that are just grazing in the verdant grass that are next to it. There's some palm trees that provide ample shade. This oasis, like this small but precious refuge from the surrounding desert. There's along a spit of land that extends into the lake. There's like colorful tents that are fluttering in the arid breeze. The tents kind of like stand in a cluster along this sandy spit that juts into the horseshoe-shaped little lake. This is their colorful cloth fluttering in the arid breeze. And at the oasis's heart, a red-roofed pagoda stands, offering shade and respite to those who seek it here in the Badlands. You can see many people bustling around. There's people that are sitting in the shade, doing various activities. There's people that are making things with the blacksmith, just hammering away at an anvil. There's people that are enjoying just some talks just at benches. There's like a circle of tents that all have like awnings over each other, so they're creating a large kind of gazebo type area. You can see quite a few people. Looking around, and so as you already know, but looking around, you can see it's got all the amenities that you would imagine from a sizable city. Tavern, inn, which is basically the same thing. Merchant stalls, residential area, places to gear up and get ready. There's like an apothecary about. All sorts of anything. There's of course a library. There's pretty much many kind of store or like establishment would be here in Ituusk. As you walk past some dune striders You give them a double take. You actually notice that they are not Doomstriders. They're simple people garbed in just a like a cloth wrap on their head. They don't have the telltale double-bladed scimitars. They just have their head wrap and their cloaks that are keeping them from this windier part of Khorzaire. Well, here I can give you. They look something like. Oh, they look something like this. They give you a nod. There's two of them that seem to be functioning as guards as you walk down and you come into Ituusk proper. And one of them gives you a greet. Oh yeah, welcome to Ituusk, guy. And then the other one kind of pumps off. Hey, come here to Big Lemons, eh? Which quote you'll realize is something of a more cloaked speech. Wait, that's like quote. Twig. My apologies. There's no one here named quote. Twig, you'll notice is something of a more cloaked speech.
More of a what speech?
A cloaked speech.
Okay.
Something along the lines of thieves' cant. They just say it so quick that you're like, huh, what?
Yeah, Zoaz just thinks it's a general greeting, but maybe he like didn't hear it right, and he's like, ah, well met.
Yep.
Would Twig know like a counter greeting sort of?
Well,
Or
yeah, like playing it back in your head, Twig, you would realize that they're saying something along the lines of, "Hey, you're here to escape the light, huh?"
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And then, I mean, yeah, you would. You would know something like that. It is something taught to you.
Then Twig would reply in kind.
Okay. They kind of like the one that first said it kind of like looks in your direction slowly, but not obviously. Gives you a little like nod upward. Gives you a wink. And then they'll give you a little wag, a little finger wag, Twig. It's like, remember regulations. And then we'll focus back on Zoaz. Oh, it's a shepherd, eh? What do we owe the privilege of your pilgrimage?
No pilgrimage today, my friends. Just bringing some compatriots through, escorting some, and well, picked up some stragglers on the way. And he'll sort of motion with his head and shoulders towards the carriage.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see.
Makayla would actually realize she might not have actually asked this yet. Should have caught up in all the commotion. Would turn to the carriage passengers, two of them, and so, where exactly are you taking the city? Do you know?
Oh, here, of course. We were just on our way towards Ituusk. This is actually exactly where we wanted to be, our final destination, you know? Thanks a bunch.
No problem. Our pleasure. But I believe we've never even exchanged pleasantries. Makayla, can I get your names?
Oh, yeah. They call me Tets. That's it's spelled kind of weird. It's got a U on the end, alright? And then
I was like trying to what? How does that pronounce that?
And my companion here is Mari. She's a little hermit there inside the carriage, but I'm sure she extends her regards all the same.
Well met, both of you.
Aye. We should be in a right pickle out there without you.
It's a good thing you warned us about what was out in the desert.
Certainly.
Lest we might have gotten taken by surprise too.
One good turn deserves another, I think. We helped you, you helped me. Do you like pickles?
She raises an eyebrow. Like, why?
I don't know, it just seemed the thing to ask.
I don't dislike them. Pickled goods are, well, the staple of the Nesha diet, but
Yeah,
neither here nor there.
they cure what ails you. You eat a pickle a day, it gets all that bad stuff out of you. You know, with the vinegar?
Yes.
No, you can do a lot with pickles. You know, you can jar them. You know, I once heard a tale of people that could transform other vegetables into pickles. You know.
What? Makayla debates trying to explain the pickling process, I guess. But then thinks it's not worth it, and just kind of like smiles and nods, like, "Wow."
Twig is enthralled.
Wow. Someone did it right before my eyes. I had a cucumber. They turned it into a pickle.
Zoaz nods sagely because he doesn't know about the pickling process and thinks that it is just a great feat of magic.
But a cucumber tastes nothing like a pickle.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. It must have been some kind of food magic, and food magic is real. I tell you.
Human is completely ignoring this entire conversation.
You're making the correct choice. Makayla just like doesn't even know how to move on. She is like, "What is happening? How did we get to pick? Where?" Like,
I aim to get me some pickles. There's some magic in them pickles, and I'm gonna find out what it is and build a whole shop and a business out of it. I'm gonna learn how to do that. I'm gonna turn everybody's cucumbers into pickles. Then they're gonna come from miles around to eat me pickles.
you do that.
I will. He's
Makayla
smiling.
like tries to speed up the carriage just a little bit.
All right. The guards here kind of look around, look over. Or how long you be staying? Do you suppose?
Zoaz clears his throat after having focused so intently on the pickle conversation. I suppose a few days at most, at least for my group.
All right.
I can't speak for the others.
Are you headed east or north or south? Because if you're headed east, I got bad news for you. The bridge over the Laughing Gorge is out.
Zoaz groans.
We're waiting on some supplies and some manpower to fix it, but there is another option available to you, but like, the boys at the East Gate will be able to tell you more. You transporting people, goods?
I suppose a little bit of both right now. These people and some goods along with them.
Aye, alright. Carry on then. And then the second one, who's maybe like a head shorter, kind of like looks over, and just kind of whispers into the other one. To everyone else, but Twig, it doesn't really sound like much. Just some words thrown together. To Twig, you hear, and it looks like they got some bag flash. Keep an eye on him, eh? And then Twig, you know this to refer to. Looks like you have some special items or magic items. and that's as you guys pass.
Mhm.
And as you head towards the gleaming emerald, towards the lovely lake, the lovely oasis with just these wooden constructs kind of built up around it, all these tents, you're heading towards this kind of red roof pagoda to drop off your carriage mates so you can get your raptor back. And out comes from the pagoda, it appears to be some kind of like public area or like public house. Out comes a gentleman who is dressed every part the gentleman. He's got kind of like a posh look to him. He's got like a short ponytail, black hair put into it. He's got trimmed beard, not scraggly by any means. He's just got some like focused eyes. He comes out and he looks around, takes a deep breath. I so love this town. And he turns around. Now come on, we're going to change the world. We need to get our hands dirty. And by golly, I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. As you all sign up and you hear this and you see the back of this gentleman, he's kind of like a suit coat, definitely not dressed for summer weather, or sorry, for desert weather, but he doesn't look uncomfortable either. Your raptors kind of eyeball the oasis. Their big, huge, long tongues kind of like slurp over their entire muzzle. And officially, welcome to Tratosk.
Nice.
Snap, 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 snap.